Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So a few weeks ago, I made a video all about using art as a tool for social change. And in this video, I wanted to kind of elaborate on something that I talked about in that video, which was using art journals and art as kind of a creative outlet for change makers. And I wanted to make this video kind of in conjunction with World Environment Day, which is in a couple of days, to not only talk about some of the benefits of art journaling if you would consider yourself a change maker, but also to kind of give you some creative prompts and ideas for environmental themed art journal entries. I just kind of want to preface this video by saying that I almost didn't record and put this video out today because with everything that's kind of going on in the world, I wasn't sure if this was the right time to be putting out content that wasn't kind of centering around the discussion of Black Lives Matter, Indigenous Lives Matter, and kind of racial injustice in Australia and the rest of the world. But I decided to film and put this out anyway because for a few reasons. One is that I made a commitment not that long ago to my YouTube community that I would upload videos every Wednesday. And I really don't want to kind of let that slide. I really want to kind of stick to the commitment that I've made to you guys. Also, because this particular video kind of coincides with World Environment Day, and it would kind of be a missed opportunity to be putting this out in a week's time or 2 weeks' time. I also have sponsored videos coming up, and I'm kind of contractually obligated to put them out. So I really wanted to kind of put this out so that I wouldn't ruin my plan for the upcoming weeks. But also because I am working on a video about Indigenous rights and racism in the context of Australia and what we can do as white allies. And that video is not finished at this point. It'll probably take me another week or so to work on it and just get it right. So I will be putting something out. And in the meantime, I didn't want to just not put out a video this week. But getting back into the topic of art journaling and World Environment Day. So there are a number of reasons that I think art journaling can be a really excellent tool, particularly for change makers. I've always been really big on journaling in general. A lot of people love bullet journaling. I'm yet to really get into bullet journaling, but it's probably something that I can see myself doing. But I have been a fan of morning pages for quite a while. I like that kind of concept of just getting things out of your mind and onto a piece of paper. And ever since I've started art journaling, it's become something that I've really enjoyed. It's something that I've kind of been incorporating into my daily routine, and I've noticed a lot of benefits from it. So if you're not really sure what an art journal is, it's kind of different for different people. I use one of these big visual diaries, like the ones you would use in like a high school art class if you did art in high school. Some people use sketchbooks, some people use scrapbooks, and the kind of style of art journaling that you do really does depend on your own kind of interests and skills and what you want to experiment with. Some people tend to go for more of a mixed media scrapbooking thing. Some people go for more of a diary kind of thing, and they incorporate elements of bullet journaling with things like illustration. And some people tend to go for more of a classic sketchbook approach, which I would probably say is what mine is at the moment. But I am kind of looking forward to experimenting and trying a more mixed media scrapbooking style with a new book that I found. Some of the benefits that I've found from art journaling kind of regularly and making it a daily practice is one, it is a great way to kind of express your feelings and emotions, to reflect on things that are happening in the world. And kind of just like process that in a different way to if you were just kind of writing and thinking about it very logically. The thing I love about art journaling is you kind of start with an idea or a concept or an emotion, and the way you process it is kind of different to if you were logically writing it out in like a diary entry. You kind of end up creating something that kind of has a mind of its own, and you don't even realize what's happening half the time. You're kind of just creating something, and the way it turns out is really special, I think. I also think it's great to just have a creative outlet. I think a lot of people, particularly people who don't consider themselves to be like creative or artistic, will probably find that it's mostly just because they don't really allow themselves to have a really creative outlet. So having that kind of creative outlet where you can explore your creativity and explore new art styles and things like that can be really beneficial. I also think that it's just a great way to kind of have fun and take a break. I know something that I struggle with as a change maker is just making time for myself and kind of focusing on self-care and stuff like that. And it's really fun to kind of have an activity that is just fun, and it kind of allows you to take a break from kind of the everyday routine or some of the things that are going on in the world. So they're probably the three biggest benefits that I found from art journaling and having this kind of creative outlet every day. So if you are a bit of a change maker, you're an activist, you're a humanitarian, you're just someone who kind of gives a shit about the world, I definitely recommend starting an art journal and finding either a daily or a weekly creative practice where you can use that to express yourself and explore things that are happening in the world and just take some time to kind of be creative. But now what I wanted to do is show you guys just 5 things that I've worked on in my art journal over the last week or two that kind of relate to World Environment Day. So the first one is a poster, I guess a poster, I don't really know what you'd call it, but it was something that was prompted by International Day for Biodiversity, which is a United Nations day. I basically, on that International Day, I kind of read all about it. Biodiversity also happens to be the theme for World Environment Day this year. And what I did was, after reading about it and reading about how important biodiversity is for humans, I created this piece. It's just an ink pen sketch and watercolor pencils. And it says, biodiversity loss is a loss for humanity. Human actions, including deforestation, intensified agriculture, and the acceleration of climate change, have pushed nature beyond its limits. It would take 1.6 Earths to meet the demands that humans make of nature each year. If we continue on this path, biodiversity loss will have severe implications for humanity, including the collapse of food and health systems. The emergence of COVID-19 has underscored the fact that, when we destroy biodiversity, we destroy the system that supports human life. Today, it is estimated that globally about 1 billion cases of illness and millions of deaths occur each year from diseases caused by coronaviruses, and about 75% of all emerging infectious diseases in humans are zoonotic, meaning that they are transmitted to people by animals. Nature is sending us a message. So that is one idea, to look up an international day and kind of be prompted about what you read online on that particular day if you're going to have a daily art journaling practice. Another one that you guys might have seen in my previous video if you watched it was kind of prompted by a global issue. So that issue was climate change, and more specifically how climate change was impacting Australia. It was kind of just a way for me to process what was going on in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, kind of thinking about how this global pandemic is happening against the backdrop of the global climate crisis. And so I created this piece to just kind of reflect that and think about it. The tree represents a human hand with the 5 fingers and whatnot, so kind of just incorporating that important aspect of the connection between humans and nature. I also created a mixed media piece, which I haven't actually had a chance to finish yet, but I'll show you that one. It's going to be, oh, that glare is not good. I want it to be kind of about marine pollution and plastics and stuff like that, and I don't actually really use plastic, so when I do have some sort of plastic, I'm going to kind of stick it on with the turtle, but I like to use newspaper as a backdrop. I just painted that blue, and then I've done an oil pastel turtle and stuck that on, so I really like him. I think he's really cute. But yeah, that was another environmental issue that I kind of just wanted to think about and reflect as I was creating my daily art journal piece. Another idea is to actually get out and draw in nature. I'm not very good at urban sketching or drawing things that are right in front of me, but I thought it would be really fun to practice and try. I did this one on a day that I went for a little picnic with my girlfriend and my brother, and it was at Wellington Point, and I actually wanted to draw the ocean in front of me, but there wasn't really anything there. There was no good focal point. There wasn't a lot of contrast in the colors. It was just kind of going to be a really boring and plain sketch. So instead what I did was I turned around and I did an urban sketch of the playground in the park that was in front of me. And that was still really fun, just to be in nature and kind of take in my surroundings. I think this would be really fun to do if I was maybe in the bush or camping somewhere or spending the day at a beach where it was a bit more aesthetically pleasing. But I just think that, yeah, drawing in nature is a great way to kind of be in nature and just reflect on things and kind of draw what you see and really connect with your surroundings. Another one that I did, and this is probably one of my favorites because I've never really drawn animals before, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. I've really been focusing on oil pastels lately. and experimenting with oil pastels, and I wanted to draw some native birds. So I did a cockatoo, which is a native Australian bird, and also a kookaburra, and these ones were really fun to do. Native animals play important roles in our ecosystems. Predators keep some animals from becoming too numerous. Herbivores manage vegetation growth or provide food. And decomposers recycle organic matter. In Australia, climate change, habitat loss, and urban development have had a huge impact on native animals. It's pushing out species to the edge of extinction, and without urgent action now to protect them from being killed, we will lose these unique and important species altogether. And the final idea is to research and kind of create like a profile on a environmental activist or artists that are working in that space that you kind of admire. So I did a profile on Mark and Jilly, who are an Australian / British couple that live here in Australia. They're most famous for Dogman and Rabbit Girl. So they create paintings of Dogman and Rabbit Girl, which kind of represent them as a couple. And they do these amazing bronze sculptures. I saw some when I was in Tasmania, so I stuck a picture of me and Tassie with Dogman and Rabbit Girl statues on this page. And they also they do a lot of work in conservation, sculpting and painting different animals, and they work with conservation groups based in Africa and stuff, which is really cool. They also did a bronze sculpture of a famous koala that was injured in the Australian bushfires, and they actually offered it to Parliament House, I think, and Parliament House rejected the sculpture, which was really unfortunate. And another thing I've just kind of drawn here is a little sketch of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Tererai Trent, because they have this project that they were working on called Statues for Equality, where they have created bronze sculptures and statues that have been put up around New York City, because women represented a really, really, really small percentage. I think it was like less than 5% of all of the sculptures and statues that are around New York City, kind of celebrating historical people. And so they are two of the people that they sculptured and have put up around New York City, which is a really great initiative. But yeah, those are my 5 ideas for art journaling entries or practices. If you are a change maker and you wanted to take up art journaling as a practice, or if you are someone who already does art journaling and you wanted a few ideas to kind of reconnect with nature or environmental sustainability through your art journaling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am literally filming this in my pajamas on Wednesday night, because I did decide at the last minute that I wanted to put this video up in time for World Environment Day. If you are new here, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. I basically use this little portion of the internet that I have to document my mission to live consciously, explore, and change the world. If you want to see more kind of art related content, definitely let me know, and I'd be happy to make more videos like this. I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope everyone is doing what they can to make a difference in the world during this time, and I will see you guys in my next video.